Good evening and welcome to this panel for opportunities in Odesa and Mykolaiv regions recovering Ukraine, usually placed in the frontline area as a result of the military aggression, the Russian military aggression. Although faced with ever more violent attacks and blackout periods, they maintain the up and running of their administration and a significant part of the economic activities. This effort shows a remarkable resilience effort. I am Ecaterina DADIVERINA, coordinator of the Ukraine Projects Department, and the president of the New Strategy Center Ukraine. This is a recently NGO set up in Ismail. In this difficult context, local authorities continue to support communities, to maintain public services, and to identify the development directions that can be implemented gradually where security landscape allows it. Odesa and Mykolaiv remain key regions for the economy of Ukraine, for strategic infrastructure in the Black Sea, and for the future part and integration into the European market. We have with us today two speakers with a direct perspective on these realities. Mr. Oleksandr SHEKA, Director of the Organization for International Cooperation under the Odesa Regional State Administration, coordinating the foreign affairs of the region and the interaction with the international partners. And online, we have with us Mr. Mykola Marinov, Deputy Head of the Mykolayiv Regional Military Administration, joining us through VTC, managing day-to-day challenges of a region strongly targeted by Russian attacks. Distinguished guests, from this perspective, from now on we will continue in Ukrainian and our colleagues will help you should you need interpretation. Mr. SHEKA, thank you for being with us. I suggest we start our discussion from some basics to better understand the realities in the Odesa region. In your perspective, what are the sectors that are most interesting for rebuilding Odesa, given its specificity, that is a harbor to the Black Sea? Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the event because it's the second day that we speak of success stories, visions, proposals, palpable proposals from the communities. And answering your question, I would say that a large part of Ukraine is, well, a possibility, but also something complicated because it's a large region, so we have borders with several states. Our potential is from the Black Sea, from the rivers, from the harbors, and it's even more difficult, given today's conditions, to set up a strategic direction of developing Odesa, given the current war. And how will we continue to develop Ukraine when the war ends? Indeed, the harbors in Odesa are key. Many a times in today's event, the harbors were mentioned for exporting grain from Ukraine. And we have to continue keeping them up and running and undisturbed traffic to Europe for cargo crossing southern Ukraine. I saw, however, that the war has created the possibility and the opportunity grow. The corridor lane, the logistic hubs existing from the beginning of the war, that were just an idea, very briefly became reality and are running today because a road transport with Isakcha or Livka ferry is very active lately in the past years, and modernizing this took actually place during war. We speak a lot about rebuilding Ukraine after the war ends. We now have a lot of risks, but still we have companies that ensure day-to-day activity in the Odesa region. And these are impacted. They suffer. As we speak, and as I speak before you, Odessa is under attack with drones and bombs. Usually, in such attacks, critical infrastructure is targeted. Within this conference and in the one in Warsaw 2 weeks ago, we spoke about how we provide conditions for the business environment to exist under such circumstances and how we defend the critical sectors, how we make sure that they run through cross-border programs and preferential loans. You've got, for example, wind farms that provide the necessary electricity for southern Bessarabia. We have expenditures of 2 or 3 million from investors to set this mechanism in place. Unfortunately, the war is still lasting, and we have to maintain what is. Odessa is tourism, harbor, sea, agriculture. These are lanes of development that were functional before the war and still exist, and they deserve to be developed. We need new logistic hubs, and we understand that the cargo capacity has to be increased. This border crossing points have to run smoothly, efficiently, to increase cargo export and import capacities as well. Not just in Odessa, but other regions in Ukraine want to become not just loading and points of cargo and manufacturing, but that's why to what I've listed, we want to add the processing for raw materials, for example, for later on exports. Some businesses are insured financially, but this has to be scaled up. We have to have investment projects that include visits and to employ people. We have to develop centers in cities at a certain distance from Odessa as well to continue to develop territorial communities. And for this, we have to understand the specificity. We have another village, Krasnosilka, collaborating with international partners. Some community leaders also understood that creating a favorable climate draws new investments. We have some communities that understood the role of investors because these are investors that are ready to finance now, or some wait for the war to pass. Well, it's quite interesting to find out the possibilities to develop PPPs, to learn about collaboration with international organizations. Do you plan on setting up specific projects that you want to refer to? I would like to refer to a pilot project, a Deloitte project, an international audit project with Deloitte that can work with specific and look into specific cases with partners. For 6 months, we've been working with this organization that regards assessing the project and getting it ready to draw financing for projects such as building a bridge in the Mayaka borough region that would ease the connection with Moldova, and which would clear a bit Palanca, because from this border crossing point, it's quite a high volume of passengers and cargo. This new bridge would draw in investments. When we have the opportunity to speak in international conferences, we identify international partners. For in the Rebuild Ukraine Forum in Warsaw, we initiated collaboration with a Polish investment association that focuses on possible topics and institutions that could be privatized in the future. On your question regarding PPPs, you could also target harbors or take into account harbors in the Odesa region, smaller ports. I know that representatives of our Odesa region met with Polish authorities and private Polish sector, looking into the possible participation in tenders. I refer to the harbor in Chedata Alba Bilhoronistrovsk, and that's where we see a possibility for another PPP. And the complex or the actions for maintenance of the state nowadays is not that well developed. The budget is not covered, for example, for that harbor, although the government is trying to keep it afloat. But drawing in investments from other states, Moldova or other areas, is a indicator on the efficiency of a PPP. I think that a resilient mechanism exists already in Ukraine. We are aware of the key aspects that need improving, but in the next 2 years, we hope we will already be able to speak of success of PPPs as well. Moreover, let me ask you how we could take the best of the collaboration with Romania, given Romania's geographic position and experience in implementing European projects. Let me refer to specific success stories on the Odesa region. We have the General Consulate, the Romanian General Consulate. These are not just our customers because we provide services to the consulate. We also help each other in identifying partners for investments in various sectors. Nowadays, the General Consulate in Odessa provides dialogue and partnership with municipalities in Romania. It's not just a formal link and exchange of actions, but if you have one party looking into a partner to be part of a project, we reach out to Odesa General Consulate to identify these partners. Now, if we were to speak of a cooperation between two cities, let's say, we don't just try to visit each other and to leave it at that. On the contrary, we aim to share experiences so that a community leader be able to implement with specific decisions actions in the territorial units that they represent. Furthermore, we need experience in attracting and absorbing European funds. Romania understands well how these mechanisms work because it went through verifications, various stages. Romania, for us, is an expert in drawing up projects because the professional opinion of NGOs from Romania is very valuable for us. Thirdly, Romania, maybe as a most important aspect, Romania is a most trusted partner. And because Romania is a trusted partner for us, it's already an engine for development. This synergy takes place with our ideas, visions. We have projects with two municipalities working together. There's interest from both sides because both municipalities get some benefits as a result of their cooperation. And it's not just formal feedback. We have specific cases for territorial communities in Romania, showing that they help communities in Ukraine, be it training or infrastructure projects with a budget of over 200,000 euro. So we have such success stories. We have positive experiences in this respect. And I would really love that apart from communities in drawing European funds, the business environment be involved as well. Currently, Ukraine needs additional financial resources, or you've got information need. Apart from the state projects, we need specialists that can keep us informed with funding tools for the business environment as well. NGOs run one way, private businesses run differently, and we need lines of funding both for all parties. Romania could help us identify these sources of funding. And we know that in Romania, the business environment does benefit from this funding. The same in Poland. And in Ukraine as well, small businesses should benefit from these financial tools. Thank you so much for your specific examples. And now let's move to Mr. Marinov. Thank you for joining us. The Mykolaiv region is facing quite some challenges, unlike other regions, but it manages nonetheless to maintain its strategic position. Can you tell me the sectors that the Mykolaiv region is focusing on? because it has quite a well-developed energy and agriculture sectors. Hello, Madam Ecaterina, Mr. Andrei, distinguished participants. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you today. Now, to try to answer your question, our region is neighboring Odessa, and there are certain similarities. We are Black Sea, riparian countries, and we have many similarities. At the beginning of the Russian military aggression, I think 20% of our territory was occupied by the Russians. Mykolaiv was surrounded from three directions, from three parts by the Russian army, and many inhabitants fled to other regions of Odessa and abroad as well, or outside of the city. Our businesses were moved. We have a city of 500,000 inhabitants. In the summer of 2022, we were left with only a bit over 100,000 inhabitants. In the northern region, we also saw occupation as well. But we are happy to say that the businesses that left, but people still came back. And these population movements were compensated with internal relocation from other regions such as Kherson or Donetsk. We also understand that business people spent for relocating their businesses. Some moved to Odessa, but most in the western regions. And coming back to their city of origin, Mykolayiv, means some more money. As for the front line, we are near the front. We have the Dnipro River nearby, and we still have some percentage of our region under occupation. We have 3 boroughs that are daily bombed. Artillery, armed forces being used. The presence of the Russian army in the area raises quite the issue. Our harbor is blocked, and it's quite a large harbor. But manipulation and movement of cargo is impossible because of the proximity of Russian armies to the harbor. People are now back. Some businesses have returned as well. New jobs or job openings exist, but we face significant humanitarian issues. Strategically speaking, as far as the economic development goes for the region, investors look at these aspects and are shocked or scared because we're very close to the front line. Taking a look at the attacks, Odessa is considered today in a more dangerous situation compared to Mykolaiv. That is why businesses don't really thrive. Denmark is the patron of our region, let's say. And we've met with business people in Denmark. They visited and understood what they could do in our region. But still don't come here because they wait for better security. Now, the development directions are similar to Odessa. We are an agricultural region with quite fruitful land and actually good, rich lands. We are furthermore from the border with Romania. Oleksandr mentioned this as well, but I'm sure that, for example, in Odesa you've got the green sector developed, green energy. Mykolayiv the same. We have about 300 batteries. We have about 25% of the region's energy necessity. Because we also have a electrical nuclear central that causes quite a lot of energy. This is why I couldn't say that we are lacking energy resources. Quite an interesting direction in Mykolayiv is the steel industry.
We have a brick factory. The factory is manufacturing certain materials that are used for the aluminum production. Previously, there was a Russian company exporting the products to Siberia, but today the company is owned by the Ukrainian state and probably soon to be privatized. It produces 7 million tons per year. We have access to electricity at a good price, and that allows for industrial consumption. As for agriculture, maybe in Ukraine, agricultural technologies are not as performant. Maybe if we used technologies at European standards, we could gain in production per hectare. Another direction is processing, food processing, because we may export raw materials and grains, but also processed goods. A third direction, agriculture, metalworks, tourism is a problem. All our beaches are mined, are closed. The hotels and recreational complexes are closed down. Access to the sea is closed. So many went bankrupt. But it is an opportunity for investors, because when the security situation improves, tourism will have potential. I could speak a lot about niche fields. We may develop an industrial park covering a 150-hectare area around this industrial park. The state intends to build different facilities or to provide incentives for investors, for example, tax exemptions. But what we see interesting is that complex infrastructure is being built around this park. It's a huge area, 150 hectares, so we can build houses, we must build schools with English teaching, because if we want to attract people, maybe foreigners, then we need to build communities and provide them with all necessary facilities. If we think of Chinese, we see Chinese are very interested in investments. We would like to see more Europeans interested in investments, because we are looking at Europe, but we will have to accept whoever wants to invest. Thank you. I want to ask about PPPs with the participation of foreign investors. What help do you need from the military administration to create the minimum conditions? First of all, partners, well, are good, but you know, there is an expression, I don't have the money, they don't have the friends. But if there are entities interested, investors, we simply take them by the hand and we carry out activities together in Kiev as well. For example, we have institution providing loans to our enterprises with providing grants as well in order to purchase Danish equipment produced in Denmark, or maybe a technique or a type of generator. They also purchased turbines, Danish turbines, for the industrial park. We have there a good cooperation examples. Maybe our pipeline companies will contribute in building the infrastructure. We have public-private projects. Before the war, we concluded a partnership with Japan to extend roads, to build bridges across rivers. But now, during the war, of course, the project is no longer taken into account. There are many risks. There is no point in building bridges now over rivers, but after the war, it will be of interest. So we are looking at different countries, at EU countries, so that would be my first thoughts. Large projects, foreign investment, Ukrainian business people. I talked about extending production. Romania's experience is interesting because you have become an EU member state. Maybe things will change, but I believe you can give us a recommendation, advice on what we should do. Thank you. If we are talking about collaboration, what fields should draw the attention of potential partners in Romania? If anyone is interested, then they need to start looking for partners. If it's not clear how, contact us. We will help you. We don't have so many companies. It is a big region, but not too many companies, but we will help you as much as we can. I want to thank the speakers, and now let's move to the Q&A session.
Okay, so I have two questions for both speakers. The first one is for for the representative of Mykolaiv, because I have some concerns regarding the digitalization issue in Mykolaiv. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm not wrong, I think that the Mykolaiv region lags behind in comparison with other regions in terms of local digitalization. How do you overcome this issue, given the fact that back in January 2025 there was a huge cyber attack attributed to Russia which affected the unified state system, something like that, and temporarily disabled the services in the Mykolaiv region along with other regions? How do you ensure the proper functioning of the administration along with ensuring a high level of cyber resilience? You can answer now, and I'm going to address the second question next.
Okay, thank you for your question. It's an interesting question, and by the way, you are right, but you are right maybe upon a year ago. For now, we already have in military administration, we have our deputy responsible, CDTO responsible for digitalization. We have different structure like a department of digitalization. We have an enterprise that is responsible also for the digitalization, and the main actually goal is and even we have a different structure for that, is cyber security. And for now, according to modern figures, we are even on the first place for some critical directions of digitalization. So yeah, we know your concerns. I understand your concerns. We also had them, but for now we are during solving them. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really glad that you provided me some figures and some positive results, because they really matter from my perspective. Thank you very much as well. And for Mr. SHEKA, since you're working in the field of regional international cooperation, I'm pretty sure you might be familiar with the term of para-diplomacy, basically how sub-government entities promote their foreign policy interests beyond the central government's foreign policy, let's say, actions. You've mentioned before what are you currently doing and what do you intend to do in the Odesa region in terms of international cooperation and collaboration. But I'm interested in this para-diplomatic perspective. What has the Odesa region gained so far as part of its para-diplomacy efforts at the international level, and what has been implemented so far? If you could provide me some examples, that would be great.
Дякую за запитання.
Thank you for the question. The Odesa region, in Odesa, we have the second city in Ukraine, concentrating representatives, foreign representatives still present in Ukraine. We have general consulates in Odesa. We have honorary consuls, communication with local authorities and with representatives, local representatives. We have cooperation with the diplomatic teams. We are discussing to present the opportunities in the region. We want to promote Odesa and its beauties and opportunities. We created the diplomatic club in the regional administration, and that organizes intermediation, mediation, or enables diplomats to communicate, but not only about, we don't only want to speak about our needs, but also to indicate how the authorities in Odesa may help, may be useful to the foreign business, to the foreign partners, so that we may develop the region. Thank you. If there are more questions. Thank you, everyone, for our discussions today, despite a very difficult security environment. Odesa and Mykolaiv are still identifying real economic development and investment opportunities. Projects are possible where we have robust partnerships, administrative capacity, and openness towards international cooperation. Romania's role is relevant both due to its experience in EU fund management and due to its proximity and already existing economic relations. Thank you all for your contributions.